Now, most of you already know that for so many weeks, each and every week, we're getting the NEV insurance registration numbers that shows the kind of course, sales that vehicles or EV vehicles like Nio sold for the previous week. This was, of course, something that each and every Tuesday we would know that we get these results. But I think ever since like last month, we have started seeing, of course, sources that used to give us these results or this report saying that their sources or the information where they get these of course NEV insurance registrations is now or won't be providing this information anymore. I mean, you will know that based on these reports, I mean, I personally get these reports from CNF Post, which of course is the one that give us this. But in recent weeks, we've been seeing CNF Post not sharing this, but rather these sources or this information being shared by Li Auto, which is one of the EV companies in China, which obviously we were still seeing the kind of registrations that a company like Nio, which is the company we follow a lot on this channel, was reporting on a week to week. Now, ladies and gents, this week we got to see those registrations coming from CNF Post, who indicated that the sources that used to release this kind of figures, they are now again releasing these figures, which is why they gave us or showed us the NEV insurance registration for the week which ended last week Saturday. Now, ladies and gents, Nio for the NEV insurance, which you saw, of course, ending last week Saturday or the second week of May, Nio saw, of course, the NEV registration or reported a total NEV registration of 1,200. This is something that obviously, yeah, it's not good, but with Nio we know that chances are, in fact, on this very same article from CNF Post, it did mention that it looks like there are quite a number of consumers in China who want to see how the ES6 is priced at, because if it's priced in a very good way, then chances are they are going to opt to buy that vehicle over and above maybe the existing vehicles. But one thing for sure that must be also noted, those CNF Post said that there is, of course, an extension of course, waiting period, which of course we read that Nio just announced on the Nio app. Like, say for instance, for the Nio ET5, it used to be 2 weeks waiting period, but now it's 2 to 3 weeks. EC7, it was 5 weeks, now it's 5 to 7 weeks. These are some of the things that obviously just have to show you that it is not that probably the demand is not there, but obviously there might be something that obviously it's happening, which is why we're seeing Nio just adjusting or increasing the waiting period, which one of the reasons might be there, of course, maybe the shipping of the new Nio ES7 to various delivery centers, because yesterday there was another article which I read which indicated that apparently there are some, of course, delivery centers that finally got to receive their first batches of the Nio EC7, meaning that we are still getting to see, of course, cars like the EC7 still heading or being taken to, of course, various of course delivery centers or Nio delivery centers, which obviously we know that yeah, things are, we hope they become better with time. Now, you know that this long awaited model that so many, of course, including this CNF Post article is saying, it looks like, or it appears that some of the people might be actually wanting to see the price tag on the new Nio ES6, because then it will make them easily decide on what they need to do, which obviously it is something that we've discussed on this channel to say that if they price it too close to the ET5, then ladies and gents, we might see Nio losing some of their ET5 customers, whereas if they price it, of course, way lower than the ES7 slash EL7, then we might see, of course, the deliveries for that model also being cut short, because consumers will think that, of course, it's a convenient to buy the ES6 rather than the ES7, though the ES7 is bigger in terms of space when compared to the ES6. But I think they will opt for the ES6 because it is quite a beauty, and it comes with latest technology that some of the technology you don't find on the Nio ES7. So yes, ladies and gents, Nio for last week of the period which ended last week Saturday, we saw them, or we just got results to say that the NEV insurance registrations was around 1,200, which is an increase from the week prior to that, because week prior to that we saw a NEV insurance registrations of of course 1,100. That is the first week of May. Now, before we forget those rules, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. I would appreciate if you can just hit the like button if you are enjoying the content that I'm giving you about Nio reporting NEV insurance registrations of 1,200 in the second week of May. So if you are enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up, as it also helps with YouTube's algorithm. Otherwise, if you don't subscribe, please consider subscribing and hit or click that notification bell. So yes, we are waiting, so many of the investors are waiting, not just the consumers, waiting for the new ES6 to be officially unveiled, and that unveiling, you will know that it's taking place next week, Wednesday, that is the 24th of May, and deliveries of that model are expected to start the following day, that is the 25th of May. Now, one thing that obviously I think Nio is trying to do is, of course, start with the deliveries of their new models as soon as possible, because we saw this first from the ES7, which started deliveries before or ahead of schedule, which obviously these, or the fact that we are seeing Nio unveiling and starting with the deliveries this following day, it also means the same thing, or it is probably due to the fact that they know that they have to deliver a lot and lots of vehicles, because the target for this year is around 250,000 vehicles. And looking at the way things are going, for now, people don't see that 250,000 vehicles. So what Nio needs to do is to quickly roll out or start with the deliveries of their new models, so that at least they can catch up in terms of deliveries. Because last week, as I've said, we received that NEV insurance registration, or the insurance registrations for Nio, came at around 1,200, which is a low number looking at where Nio wants to see themselves in December. So I know that these numbers are low, but I'm hoping for the best that starting from next week we get to see, of course, the good price from the ES6 for the car that Nio will be unveiling, or official unveiling, called the ES6, and it gets a proper price tag that will make it sell like cupcakes. So yes, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe. And also subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube. But one thing that I think it must be noted, like I said in the beginning of this video, is that obviously Nio, the issue is not, of course, might not be fully demand, because we are seeing Nio extending the waiting period, or increasing the waiting period for those that ordered the EC7, which is the latest coupe that Nio is selling, and of course the ET5, which is the mid-sedan that Nio has been selling since last year September. So we have seen a slight increase into that, which is something that obviously can tell us that maybe the problem is not fully the demand. Probably, I don't know, maybe there are other things. But one thing for sure, or what will really make us to conclude or make a conclusion, it's when Nio start with the deliveries of the ES6, because this ES6 is expected to do very well, because even during the Shanghai Auto Show, it received an award of the most viewed car during that show. So it tells you that obviously this car it's one of those cars that is just expected to do well, especially if Nio priced it at a good price. So I know right now you might not be seeing, we are not seeing the light on Nio in terms of deliveries, but come next week, I think we might start seeing the light a bit, especially that Nio is saying that the deliveries, or the orders, official orders, will start immediately at that day, or during that day of the unveiling, and the deliveries will start the following day. So I hope for the best. I hope that this ES6 really revive the deliveries that we see on Nio on a month to month. Otherwise, another thing which I really hope is, of course, Nio, I just hope they are ready in terms of production wise, because obviously they will be having a lot and lots of models, which of course this model requires them to have some massive production coming from their two factories. So I hope they are ready for that, and we won't see supply chain bottlenecks like we saw probably in 2022. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.